Mina the Hollower was a game that pleasantly surprised me. It was very fun to play, and Yacht Club games really knocked it out of the park. But this video isn't really about the gameplay. The world of Mina the Hollower is what grabbed me. The titular character Mina has been called to this place by the Marshal of Ossex, Thorn, to find the answer behind the spreading blight and malignant rot festering inside Tenebrous Isle. This is a personal problem for Mina. Her creation, the towering and radiant spark generators dotted around the isle, are in disrepair. There are horrors abound. The ground of Tenebrous is seeping and collapsing with decay. The dangers of what's been set loose on this island are immediately apparent. The ship is struck by a vile sea creature, the Nether Kraken, and sent ashore in pieces. As Mina fights her way to the central city of Ossex, it has become increasingly obvious there is a civil conflict of sorts playing out on the ground. Some guards fight you, while others welcome you to the city. After she gets her bearings in town, Mina finds herself at the central estate of Ossex, and face to face with her old friend Baron Lionel, who is proudly opening an orphanage for the disenfranchised youth of his beloved city. Mina is invited to take part in Lionel's ribbon-cutting ceremony, as both a dear friend of his and as recognition for the growth of Tenebrous Isle. She is the reason that Ossex stands tall as a beacon after all. Once the pleasantries are over, Lionel wishes Mina luck in restoring the damaged spark generators and sees her out. Just outside the manor, the very person Mina was written to flies down and attacks her. Thorn, the Marshal of Ossex, seems to have splintered away from Lionel time since writing to her, and won't leave this new partnership unanswered. From the decaying and robbed crypt of Queensbury to the toxic and poisonous swamp of Noxus Bayou, the violence-ridden farming community of September, the resource-rich Bone Beach actively being stripped for all it's worth, the harsh cold around the snowy peaks of Coltrane, and the restless spirits trapped within icy vortex. Too far above the clouds in the astral orrery, a place of dignified scientific endeavors. Each location is a mirror to the land and its twisted existence. Mina soon finds out that the blight is from her own creation. The spark generators are what taints the land. Mina herself is to blame for the ailing isle. The game does not hide this fact and alludes to it many times. Very early on in Mina's exploration of the isle, she can potentially come across a book tucked away in Lionel's manor, written by Thorn himself, that clearly outlines the double-edged nature behind the power coming from these spark generators. Is your comfort worth the suffering of others? Outside of town, there's a team of researchers who are combing over Thorn's living quarters and find that his plans were not done to hurt people, but only to damage the spark generators. Thorn is shown to care deeply for the people he once protected, even if he must now fight against their very institutions. Each region Mina travels through to repair the spark generators shines a bigger light on the state of Tenebrous Isle. She sends letters back and forth as she continues her work, noting the twisted, unlife, heinous side effects the spark seems to create at every turn. Baron Lionel is clearly hiding something. Mina can tell, the player can tell. Each beacon of light relit makes you feel just a bit more at odds with Lionel. This isn't really a twist. Despite what people online have said about it, the layers are peeling back constantly in the game to reveal a truth that we could all see coming from practically the start. The fate of Tenebrous Isle rests on these towers being dismantled. As we were told from the start of the game by Thorn, it was kind of a no-brainer to get there. Thorn brought Mina back to Tenebris as a way to force an outcome. This war between him and Lionel was not going to last forever. The only person who could make the difference was the Creator herself. As Mina finally climbs the astral orrery to repair the final damaged tower, she bears witness to what prolonged exposure to Spark will do, what it has done before. As Mina defeats the boss monster in the orrery, it splits apart into the very creatures you were battling during the ascent. These aptly named pieces, which were a nuisance on the road to this moment, were previously aggressive and pulsing with electricity like a Frankenstein's monster. Now they are standing before you, questioning what they even are. They fade away and die like husks. These were the scientists that Lionel sent away to steady Spark. It consumed them and created an absent-minded chaos, a carnage. This made me think back to the monsters I fought along the way. Was the Carving Man one such creature? A man-turned-monster by the very beacon of hope Mina created? The walking corpse of the Duchess, free from her crypt, was it Mina's paw that brought her soul back with a vengeance? The massive fish that in its madness beached itself on the southern shore. Surely the spark generator drove it to madness. And the train conductor that killed her entire crew and the passengers aboard. Was that Mina's creation too? Was that the cause of all this trouble? Mina doesn't have time to ponder this. She climbs the tower to repair the astral orrery's generator, but sees something she shouldn't have. Lionel and Thorn are talking at the top of the tower. After some well-placed deception from Baron Lionel, Mina gets to bear witness to Thorn being thrown into the spark, transforming him into a beast just as ghastly as the monsters she's fought along her journey. It locks everything into place. The end of this story is inevitable. After witnessing this brutal act, Mina must now make her way to the Radiant Manor, Baron Lionel's home turf, the heart of Ossex, the home of her dear friend and the leader of the very island she's trying to save. Lionel looks down upon Mina as a great thinker tainted by the evil of a traitor. He views the spark as a benefit to society, viewing the monsters as those not strong enough to overcome his grasp. He calls them the guardians of the land, protecting the light that beams from Mina's towers. Mina sees this as an affront to life itself and calls out the horrors for what they are, which leads to the actual twist of the game. Baron Lionel knows about everything you, the player, has been up to on Tenebris Isle. The good, the bad, the ugly truth of it all. He knows you have sinned as much as he has. You're just as rotten as the land you've been burrowing through. Lionel casts you down. You are no hero to Ossex. You are a plague. He will not let you extinguish the spark. But you have to. Mina has to. For all the people who have been tainted by her work. It is what is just, what must be done. Mina makes her way back up to Lionel, through the gauntlet of the inner manor, having to contend with the townsfolk she spent so long helping, now actively trying to stop her, as well as the nastiest monsters that the game has to offer. She soon reaches Mr. Fergus, Lionel's right-hand man, who drops some important information about the healing vials she's been drinking this entire time. Lionel has been giving spark-reducing antidotes to the townsfolk while watching the rest of the island succumb to spark poisoning. Lionel really has known all along what has been going on. Mina reaches the roof, the final spark generator. It's just her and Lionel now. a clash of ideals from the two most important people of Tenebrous Isle. After a tense showdown, Mina defeats Lionel in combat and begins her ascent to destroy the central tower. Lionel, however, will not let that happen. He has mastered the very essence of Spark, and is more monstrous than any being she's encountered thus far. He ascends, much like Fergus showed her earlier, and chases Mina up the tower. Thorn appears in this final battle atop the tower to turn the tides in Mina's favor, for he too has found the will to keep control of himself as a spark-fueled beast. With the two of them working together, Lionel is defeated, gutted by Mina as she destroys his final generator. His manor, his home, Ossex falls with the spark generator. The ending sequence plays. You get to see what becomes of the island. You get to see firsthand that this was a hollow victory. Mina has saved Tenebrous Island by plunging it into anarchistic chaos. The people are no longer poisoned by the spark, but the spark no longer creates a safe haven of society. The island's leader, Lionel, is dead. Ossex revolts, chasing down Mina, their savior, labeling her a terrorist, a destroyer. Mina's friends in the Hollowers Guild are treated as accomplices, and the boatman who brought you to Tenebrous is killed right in front of you. Mina is an outlaw, a fugitive, not welcome in the very place she saved from certain calamity. The rest of the island blossoms, the decay is regressing, and life carries on. The game ends on a small islet overlooking the place you are now a pariah of. Mina has one more thing she must do. She cures Thorn of the spark overdose. He returns to normal, and the two of them look on at what once was. The nightmare is over, but the outcome was no dream. This ending hooked me. It took a game I liked and put it into the category of my mind. It is a game I will think back to for years. Mina the Hollower had the balls to make you lose, to steal away that feel-good moment you might have had from saving Tenebrous. This isn't a mistake or a blunder. It can't be, right? That can't be the end of the game. What a hollow ending. The Steam achievement says it best. As a player, I felt as hollow as the Steam achievement made it out to be. The game was over, and I had to live with the consequences. Or did I? Mina the Hollower has a secret ending that you cannot get during your first playthrough without express knowledge of what to do beforehand. It is entirely hidden. It turns out the scene in the dining hall wasn't just Lionel chastising you for your sins. It was a clear set of wrongdoings to avoid in a new save. Maybe there is a happy ending after all. Playing Mina the Hollower to get this second alternate ending is very tedious. It is a tedious process, filled with ignoring things that make games fun, like smashing street lamps for the hell of it, or getting a pumpkin man to taste you. But seeing Lionel lament and realize you were blameless in all of this, he extends his hand and asks you to join him. You can refuse and play out the game normally, resigning yourself in Ossex to the same fate as that first time. Or you can take him up on his offer, hoping that the ending will be the good ending you as the player craved enough to go after with this insane second blameless run. What you get is an even worse ending. It's an ending where you lie to yourself. You give up your principles just to avoid evident, shown suffering. Mina lets Lionel win. The spark generators are repaired. The insurrection from Thorn is squashed off screen. He gets no final moment. That character that saved you in the first run is a footnote in history. The blight continues, and Osix is all the stronger for it. The bayou is still toxic. The dead still roam at night. The crows of September still kill each other for some reason. The storm in Coltrane is unending. Wildlife grows as maddened as the beached fish did. But Osix stands strong, and Mina stands with Lionel. The game ends with her embracing him. I took that as the only way she could live with herself. All I can say is that ending was miserable. The status quo was upheld. In the players' search for a good ending, they found the bad ending. The hidden ending is the bad ending. Again, that takes balls. Mina the Hollower is a collision. You can't look away, yet you know what will happen. The end of the game is exactly what the player expected. It didn't pull any punches and showed you everything. It wasn't a happy ending, but it was the good ending. It was what needed to happen, even if it makes you feel like you lost. Mina accomplished her task and can now rest, as can the player. Doing what you need to do in a situation like this would rarely produce a happy ending. Mina the Hollower left me utterly content with what it gave me. The game also taught me endings are hard.